Hello from London, Tony.
Hello from sunny Houston, Texas, Eve, where last week, at the end of last week, I was at the Global Thought Leadership Institute Symposium. It's the second time they've run it. And if you didn't know, I think you do. The Global Thought Leadership Institute is this relatively new thing, which is about best practice and professionalizing thought leadership, which, yeah, we're big fans of, obviously.
Tell me more.
Well, I guess the main thing I want to focus on in this little chat is they put out a report around the promise and peril of thought leadership. So the great and good were in attendance at this event. As you can imagine, there were people like us on the kind of the content side, researchers on the research side, and then there were the in-house people from like really big well-known companies, some lesser-known companies, lots of the big consultancies, McKinsey, Accenture. There was the IBM Institute for Business Value. There were some academics. And EY as well. And it was Liz Bolshaw from EY who authored this report. It surveyed over 1,000 people, executives who consume thought leadership. Three main areas I want to mention. The first, and this is, remember, we're only a few weeks away since the Edelman put out their trust barometer for this year, is that employers are really well trusted. And 97% of those they surveyed said that they really value thought leadership and make better decisions because of it. And this is, considered the other parts of society who are not quite so well trusted these days, shall we say. The second thing I'd say is about 3/4 of those surveyed were really anti organizations using AI to create this thought leadership content, which surprised me. And I actually asked Liz a question from the floor, and I said, is that just a generational thing and people will get more used to it? And she said, no, lots of younger people as well hate it if you use AI to create stuff for them. So this is in a business setting. And at the same time, people create what they call mixtapes. Right? People like to use AI to curate the content they're getting on a daily basis. So a bit of AI for me, not for thee.
Okay.
The last thing I'd say is something close to our heart around policies, governance. Have AI policies be transparent. That's been a big thing for us over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Transparency forever. And governance is the hardest thing for big organizations with all this stuff. So those were the big main findings that came out. But do look up the report. I think we'll put a link to it.
Yeah, we will. Okay. Is there anything else you've been seeing? Any tea to spill?
Yeah, actually, speaking of tea, we're not quite in Boston, but there are lots of British. The British are coming. In the room, accents everywhere. I guess it's an industry, more broadly in the creative industry, the UK is strong, and I wasn't the only Anglo voice in the room, shall we say, which we kind of know that that's the case. But there are other highlights too. I mean, some of the really big names were there. So Francis Hinterman from Accenture talked about not just humans in the loop, but they talked about humans in the lead, which I think really struck a chord with everyone in the room. Heard that phrase repeated a lot. The folks from ServiceNow, they talked about event kits. So when you produce great thought leadership, you have to have the wider business out there using the material, otherwise it's wasted. So again, I saw lots of people scribbling, taking notes. That was great. It was full of great advice like that.
Sounds like you had a really good time.
It was a great time. It was a great time. Loads about AI, loads about ROI. So many things that we talk about week in, week out. I think the biggest thing for me, the final takeaway is this is about the professionalization of an industry. Lots of big companies helping each other. It's quite collegiate. It's like everyone wins if we do this well. And we've got our research coming out on this subject around content and using AI. So our field work ended just at the end of last month. I think a lot of it will dovetail with what we were hearing at this event. But for everyone, check out the report, Promise and Peril. Check out the GTLI. More from me soon, shall we say.
Great. Well, thanks for the update, Tony, and we'll see you soon.
See you back in London, Eve.